Welcome to the darker side of medicine, the podcast of nightmares. Dim the lights, settle in, and wander with me into the unnerving landscape of my disturbed, subconscious mind. Because sometimes the scariest stories aren't fiction, they're symptoms. Tonight's episode, Mara. My eyes open. The bedroom is quiet, and it remains dark outside. Through the window I can see just a touch of moonlight seeping in through the blinds. I try to reach for a glass of water on my bedside table, but my arms don't move. I look to my right to see Demon RJ finishing a knot while tying down my wrists. My attempts to fight are pointless, and my screams are swallowed by the atmospheric void in the room. I am instantly aware of the nightmare in which I find myself. He is trying to trap me in this space between, again. He has strapped me down because he's leaving. I bide my time and wait until I hear the front door close. I inch my face towards one of my wrists, using the force of my clenching jaw to painfully rip the restraints with my teeth. I just manage to untie my other wrist, intent on finding a way out of this dream, when a smaller, demon minion makes his way over to me. His monstrous face and putrid breath hit me first, followed by clammy, prodding fingers. He assaults me as I cling to a shred of hope, but it dwindles when his attack turns sexual. I do what I can to dissociate during his clumsy but brutal attack, and when I return to my body, I am again strapped down to the bed. I manage to repeat the escape, and once I'm up, I start running every which way in the house looking for the real RJ. I knock on the walls trying to wake up. I try to scream. Then I see RJ standing at the window and rush towards him. As he turns, his figure morphs. His eyes blacken, and he grows taller to a towering height as high as the ceiling. He becomes Mara, the highest level of demon. I run. Each time I race to a different room looking for real RJ, instead always finding Mara. With her spiraled and scarred horns, her beautifully malicious face, twisted hooves, and commanding voice, she smirks and tells me that I will never escape. I am to be imprisoned, tortured, but remain alive so that I will live in perpetuity in this realm while my true husband would take care of me. My body would be designated a victim of locked-in syndrome, and no one in my real world will ever understand the torment happening down here. I run again away from this demon of all demons. I bolt out into the street with futile attempts to scream, to cry, to make any sound at all. I pick up bricks from our garden and throw them through the front window. If I could just set off our real house alarm, maybe I would wake up. If this is another dimension, maybe I could wake someone else up. Anyone. I make my way to the fence and begin ripping apart the boards. I run down the street and throw bricks into the windows of the neighboring homes. I make as much noise and create as much destruction as possible. I bang on doors and walls and windows. It's no use. The houses are dark. To make a mockery of my efforts, a fire engine pulls up to the house. Demons fill the street, all watching me. I'm here for their entertainment. In my desperation, I take hold of a smashed piece of glass. I press the glass edge to my wrist, press firmly down until I can feel the glass penetrate through muscle, and I slice a jagged line up my forearm. Thick blood oozes out my wrist, and I repeat the cut on the other one, ignoring the stinging pain. Furious, Mara appears. She grabs my arms, and the wounds are gone. She tells me it won't work. She bends down slowly to align her face with mine and smiles. In another desperate act, I latch onto one of her horns and violently drive it into my jugular. I feel the gush of blood coat my hands, and I can see the blood winding down her spiraled horns. But she pulls away. and I'm no longer bleeding. She waves over a truck in behind the fire engine. I'm making too much of a mess. I'm fighting too much. She instructs one of her inferiors to transport me to the dungeons. I'm surrounded and strapped to the passenger seat of the truck. While I can't move my arms, my legs are still free. As the truck picks up speed, I swing my leg over to the steering wheel and hurtle us toward the light posts down the street. The impact of the crash rips the straps holding me to the seat, and I fly forward. My chest is crushed by the dashboard, and my head smashes into the windshield before wrenching backwards, snapping my neck. But it's still not enough. I'm still not awake. I escape out of the passenger seat and sprint down the street. My head is pounding, my feet too slow. I run past our house towards the green space on the other side. The demons are just standing in the street, laughing at my attempts to use suicide as a means to wake up. Mara was also watching, but silently. She was not laughing. The driver turned the truck around and starts coming back for me. This is my last chance. I keep running until I can hear him at a breakneck speed. I stop and dive in front of the moving truck. As the chrome of the grille slams into my face, I first feel my nose break. My jaw unhinges and snaps to the side. Then my skull cracks open, my eyes plunging out from their sockets, and the crackling pain turns into nothing at all. My eyes open. Wide-eyed and panting, I reach over to RJ. I ask him to roll over and open his eyes, which he does willingly since this has happened before. They're normal. He is normal. I ask him, stupidly, if he is himself, and he patiently helps me to calm down. With shaky breaths, I tell him to cover his eyes so that I can turn on the light, but the bedside lamp won't turn on. I begin to cry. I frantically jump out of bed and flick on the light switch. Darkness. I run room to room, but no lights are turning on. I scream and cry and panic while RJ keeps asking me what's wrong. He grabs my wrist, and as I turn to face him, his eyes begin to fill with black ink. Mara. My eyes fly open. In bed, in the dark, I reach over to RJ, who stirs. Forgetting the bedside lamp, I really need to just get rid of the damn thing. I turn on the main room light. Bright light fills the space, and RJ lets out an irritated groan. I give a sigh of relief, but then I feel a slight breeze coming from the hallway. Cold air. And our dog is not in the room. I call for him as I walk to the front room. I switch on the light to find large, fist-sized rocks, shattered pieces of glass, and large holes in the front windows. RJ comes out to see the mess as I begin to sob, realizing that I had been sleepwalking. All those bricks I had thrown in my dream, I had actually been hurling rocks. The sky is starting to lighten up as we take in the damage. Windows are cracked, broken, or entirely blown out. We step outside and notice that our fence is ruined, some boards removed. We find our dog on the front lawn, bloody paws, but otherwise okay. What's even worse, windows in the neighboring homes are smashed in too, and our neighbors are starting to tape up their windows and are on their phones calling the police. I can barely handle the shame and embarrassment of it all. RJ calmly explains to the neighbors what has happened, and we clean up what we can. RJ calls someone to come out and fix all the windows. While we wait, I ask RJ to retrieve any video from our security cameras. I'm still jittery and feeling horrendous about all the damage, but as hard as it might be for me to watch myself sleepwalking, I need to see for myself exactly what I had done. When the construction crew arrives, the foreman wants to assess further damage to the house in the basement. I carry our dog down the stairs and follow the foreman. She finds little damage to the basement window, but enough that we'll still need to replace it. As I follow her back up the stairs, our dog in my arms and RJ busy cleaning up all the shattered glass, she turns to me. She asks me, "Do you believe that dogs have a sixth sense for whether a person is good or evil?" Unnerved by the strange question, I admit that I don't really know. She then widens her eyes and stares down our dog, smiling. He immediately lunges at her with a snarl, jumping out of my arms, and the foreman chomps down her teeth to bite the air in warning. Our dog yelps and takes off out of the house. Mara smiles at me. My eyes open. Drenched in sweat, lying on my stomach in bed, the sheets are sticky. I reach over to RJ to ground myself. I calm my breathing, then get up quietly to check the front window. No mess. I slip into our ensuite bathroom and turn on the light. Now truly awake, I don't dare go back to sleep. Thank you for listening to The Darker Side of Medicine. I'm your host, Scary Carrie. Sweet dreams.